Good morning. It's about 8 to 6, 5 to 6, Monday morning, the 25th of April, 2022. I'm on my patio and I'm making this video for the courts, should it ever get into court. I'm making it for the HOA, the golf course, anybody that has anything to do with the HOA, all the committees at the HOA. It'll probably be sent to every committee on the HOA. But enough with me. This is who's making the video. And then the rest of the time, now I'm going to pan. This is where we are. It's 6 o'clock in the morning. Close to it. I'm updating a video to send to the HOA. I'm trying to communicate with the HOA, and I'm sorry for the shaking. It's early in the morning. I'm trying to hold this without a tripod. But let me update you as to what's going on with this yard and what prompted me to make this video. I'm going to hold out a letter here. I'll zoom in on it. But I've gotten this letter now. And what I want to do is address with the HOA. First of all, I would like to request a meeting, a closed-door meeting with me, my camera, or me and a witness, or me and a lawyer, and all the committees and the board who keeps generating these letters to me. Okay? Now, I'll zoom in on this and I'll show you what's going on with these letters. Well, first, let's take you out. You've seen the letter. I'll zoom in on it later. But I have to make this video to let you know. Seems like my yard has been the focus of all the fines and penalties that I've gotten. Now, this rock right there that you're looking at is on the property line. And I'm going to prove it to you. You see that rod sticking out of the ground right there? That rod's been in the ground there probably for 19 years. 18 or 19 years. That's the property line, the boundary. If you look north, you see that box out in the distance, and the two columns, the two pillars for the air conditioning unit. You see that red line? It goes right over the rock, it goes right to this post, and about a month and a half ago I outlined it. Okay, so that's the property line. So everything from the red line this way and the plants and out to that mound has got my name on it. Oh, here we got a fresh one. I got a fresh one on the porch or on the patio. This came in yesterday. Okay, typical. But I had a lighthouse here for the longest time. Oh, and I can see somebody put in hoses. Good idea. We'll see if it works. I've got right here is what is called a dry well. It's about 3 feet deep and about 4 or 5 feet wide, and it's filled with leach stone like that. Okay, and then I covered it up with landscape fabric, but that is fed by pipes. There's 2 pipes coming from here, 3 pipes, one from the neighbor over there here. But I used to own that house. I sold it 6 months ago. And the reason and we had a few hiccups during the sale of that house. I lived in it, I ordered it, I bought it, I lived in it for 15 years. I did a lot of upgrades to it. But I couldn't get a realtor to list it honestly for me. they wouldn't put down that the neighborhood was out of compliance, which it is. It doesn't comply with the plat map. Okay, this is tribal knowledge out here. But with this letter now, I had a hiccup. I want to talk about the hiccup with trying to sell that house. It was in July. I had like about 3 weeks or a month to get out to dismember a 15-year life in that house that I had all to myself with tools and toys and everything else. I spent a month in the middle of July. I spent the month in the middle of July trying to empty that house, and since I own the one next to it, I moved into this one. And for some reason, AAM that bills me for my dues, AAM who adds a fine to my bill for the dues, they've got my address right. Everything is coming to this address now from AAM, because when the sale went through here, AAM got updated on the new address. I put the new address down for everything. But these letters, and this started right there, Sourd Lasham, and it says 3333. That's that house. This has been over 6 months. Now, this letter is going to be a legal notice to me. It's going to have legal language in it. It's going to threaten me with a lien against my house. It's going to tell me that I've got more fines added to me. It's probably going to tell me all kinds of stuff like that. And it's addressed to the wrong house. Now, I'm going to try to put a paper package together where for like 2 pay periods now, all the billing comes to this house, but when it comes to disciplinary things and legal judgments against me by the board and the committees that service the board, it's coming to that house. Or if it comes to that house, I return the letter, and you're going to see in a video in a couple minutes, this precedes the video that you're going to watch. This is going to be about a half-an-hour presentation on what's going on. We have what we call an oxymoron here. The oxymoron is that the local HOA that's generating all this paperwork and legal and fines and discrepancies against me is sending it to an old address. But all of my bills and any notices, my notice to submit an application for a board to be elected to the board, and the notification for voting, and all the notification for that came to this house. But as you'll see in the next video, the letter that came to my house and the letter that started all of this thing with, I've been getting fines now. I've been getting fines for about 3 pay periods for about the last 9 months. And it all started when the lady was in this house, got a letter addressed to the resident of that house. Now, I was living there. All my billing was coming there from AAM and things like that. But when I started working on this yard, and I sent you a video about what I was doing, I can include it with this one, why I did this here. It's for privacy and to keep from getting overrun by the multitude of amateur golfers. Once you say golf and you put amateur in front of it, or novice or beginner, you've got a freak show circus going on. Okay? These people haven't got a clue. But that's what's happening. The next, I feel legally I have no, I shouldn't have to open this. And I'm going to let you know, I could send it right through the, I could send it through the, my shredder right now. Everybody at AAM knows I don't live there anymore. I'm not, any correspondence I get from AAM for billing, dues, anything like that, but when I get these bogus letters, and like I said, this started 9 months ago, there it is. Now, there's a little window right here where my finger is, and at the bottom of the window it put a date. This letter was generated like on the 19th. Something like that. It was generated on the 19th of this month, like a week ago, less than a week ago. They generated this letter, and I've been out of that house for 6 months. That's what I'm talking about. The oxymoron. It's like I'm dealing with 2 HOAs. And the little hiccup that happened during this house is I had to sell it for cash, own cash as is, okay? Because if I listed it with a realtor, I was going to make sure that the realtor put on the listing that parcel 12 is out of compliance because the emergency exit and the master drain overland channel for drain to back up the pipe underground was out of compliance, and we didn't have golf cart access, and we didn't have emergency vehicle access in and out of parcel 12. And I wanted them to put it on the listing, and no realtor would go near it. Okay? No, we're not going to do that. And then when I found out through due diligence, after talking to a surveyor, I had a surveyor come out, and he didn't even have to take his stuff out of the car. He took one look at the neighborhood. It didn't look like this. We had a berm running down to that plant there about 75 feet away. There was a berm that was higher than the patio. Past that plant right there for the third house, everything from the patio goes uphill, slightly. It's deceiving to the eye, okay? But I'm going to put this on YouTube. I'm going to let the outside world know about this double. Who am I responsible to? All right, why should I have to open up this letter? I paid good money and I paid dues to have you keep proper records. And you're not keeping the proper records. And the first letter I ever got about this work back here in this yard, what I was doing, it didn't describe what I was doing. It didn't have a picture in it. And it was sent to the resident. Now, my friend was living in this house. Okay? I let her live here. The house was going up in value every month. I wasn't losing anything by letting her live here. Okay? For you to send a letter to that house, for you to send a letter to this house where she was living, labeled resident, and then have all this legal language. She opened up that letter and brought it to me. She couldn't believe it. Why are you telling me all this stuff about violations and I can be fined and stuff? Why did she open it? She thought it was a generic letter. She thought it was a generic letter from the HOA, maybe announcing an auction, or that we could have a day where we could put all our stuff out in flea market or whatever. That's what she thought. When she opened it up, she couldn't believe it. And she brought it immediately to me and she goes, why am I getting this? And it was labeled to resident. It wasn't even labeled to me. How legally can you bind me to something when you don't put my name and proper address on it? Now, this will probably get sent back to you if I don't lose my temper, or it may go through the shredder. I feel I have no legal obligation to accept that letter to you. But I do want to let you know that I'm dealing with 2 HOAs here. I'm dealing with the billing part and the record keeping part. Oh, and the hiccup on this house right here. I'll get back to it again. About a week into the transaction, after the paperwork went through. Once the paperwork got to the HOA that I had sold that house for cash only as is, without going through a realtor, because I had a for sale sign on the outside of the house for about a month, and then eventually a guy came in and gave me my price, cash only, as is. Well, when that paperwork and that, and I left the for sale sign on this house that I moved into. Within a week, I had a letter in the mail for this house that pull down the sign or you're going to get fined every day. For every day that sign is up, they were so angry that this house got sold outside of the real estate network here. Okay? Now, what happened was, after going in and signing all the paperwork in the closing, and now we're about 3 weeks from closing, and I went in, or 2 weeks, and I signed all the paperwork, signed it over, yeah, made it clear at the title company. The lady I did all the transactions said, I'm going on a 4-day vacation, I'll see you later. And the next morning, that was like a Friday afternoon, Monday morning, I get a email from this guy at the title company I've never met, and he tells me I've got a late fee from the HOA in Buckeye that could hold up this whole process. I've never been late. I might be a gadfly, I might be a carpetbagger, I might be a damn Yankee, an interloper, a shit stirrer, whatever you think I am. Maybe you think I'm a communist sympathizer, I'm pinko or whatever you think of my orientation. I know one thing, I'm not welcome here. I stick out like a turd in a punch bowl because I'm single, and I registered first as an independent, and then when Trump got elected and I got arrested here, I went full Democrat. I never thought, my father's rolling over in his grave to think that I've registered as a Democrat. But I'll tell you what, I've seen what true Republican is. I grew up in upstate New York, and we've got Republicans up there, but they don't play like you do out here. This is a Republicanism on steroids, and I got beaten by it. I got thrown in jail and everything else from it. So, that's why I'm making this video. And for anybody out there in YouTube land, and any judges or any court or any of the people who are officials, I'm burdened with this house being built 2-3 inches low. I've already got a lien against my property. I've already got a lien against my property. And you see those balls right there? An extra one showed up yesterday, and I got that. Why? Because the wind blew hard out of the west yesterday. Okay? But I'm going to go add this to the other ones. I'm going to put a paper package. I hope to get a paper package together to present to everybody at the HOA. But I'm not going to set letters, legal letters, standalone legal documents. These are standalone legal documents. They're informing me of a new fine. They're informing me I've broken a rule. They're threatening me with a lien against my house and lawyer letters and everything else. If you're going to send me letters like that, see what you spent to send that letter right there? 53 cents. My last dues had a $200 fine on it. So I paid $285 for the house. And the reason I've got this tore up is drainage. I've told you. They screwed up the drainage here. Plus, I don't have any privacy. Plus, I'm being overrun by golfers who don't know any better. This is Hooterville. This is Mayberry. This is the Planet of the Apes. Whatever you want to call it. The set of hee-haw. This isn't real golf. This is where the clubhouse or the pro shop enjoys the luxury of dialing up my risk of getting hit every day. They do. Pure fact. Let's be adult. Man up. You dial up my risk every day with those locations. If you take it all the way back and all the way to the right, or all the way to our left, or the right as they're looking at, and then you move the pin all the way back to the right, you've set up the perfect storm for me. You understand what you did? I have to deal with this. This is a burden I deal with day in and day out. I got broken windows. I got a dent in my... I put those gutters up a week after I put them up. I had a dent in one of them. had broken, damaged solar panels. And for you to day after day put people in my yard, and the reason I built this little mound here is to keep people from walking over that corner. This corner right here, and these lots, that corner right here where you see that white stake, and that happens to be out of bounds. This is a hitter's ballpark. You can't hit a foul ball off any of these tees on the 6th hole until you put a ball in my yard. And then it's finally a foul ball. Alright? Anybody get the logic? I have to deal with this. This is another burden. But that house right there is built 3 inches low. I've got the proof. I'll bring out if you want a surveyor and have it surveyed. Okay? I know it's low, so I'm not going to pay somebody $3,000 when I already know it's 3 inches low. And I've got the paperwork to prove it. Now, I'm going to start making videos like this, but this is for the Sundance Adult Village HOA here in Buckeye, Arizona. I can't make one of these videos and start talking without getting emotionally wound up. Okay? What I'm going to take to my grave is a mugshot that's on about three websites. And they all want $500 for me to remove the mugshot. How they got my mugshot is they paid Joe Arpaio an amount of money for all the mugshots, for all the mugshots of all the arrests every day for years at the 4th Avenue jail. Anybody that got arrested, and Joe Arpaio rationalizes, well, the public should know this. The public should know this. They ought to know who the criminals are. So we're gonna sell this information to this website, and then they're gonna put the guy's picture on. The guy's gonna have to pay $500 to get it removed. I'm gonna take those 3 websites with my picture on it, my mugshot. It's gonna go to the grave with me, and I'm gonna tell everybody the story of how when I got out of 4 days in jail for missing a court date, and when I admitted to a young judge, a cowboy, probably 15 years younger than me, in a black robe in downtown Buckeye in this kangaroo court, when I told him I had no idea about a court date, I didn't know about a court date, I don't know why I spent 4 days in jail, he said, of course you didn't. And he held up, I've done this demonstration, but he took my summons that I never received or got mailed to me for a court date, and he held it up in front of me, like in your face. A cowboy with a city slicker. It's like some Johnny Reb judge in the deep south in Dixieland going, hey Yankee, we can do that to you, Yankee. Here's your thing right here. We didn't send it to you. Well, why am I standing here, and why did I go to jail for missing a court date? Hey, we can do that to you. We can do that to you. This is Buckeye. We're outside the 12-mile limit in Buckeye. I'm going to close here. I've gotten a little wound up. I always do making these videos. But, like I said, I get up every morning. I go to bed every night knowing that the only mark on my civil record for 73 years that shows up is the arrest that I got in Buckeye. I was arrested for missing a court date that I had never been served on. Anybody get that? Anybody get that? I got arrested for missing a court date that I never got a summons on. Catch-22, entrapment. I don't fly my flag in Buckeye. I never will. And I won't fly in Arizona either. As far as I'm concerned, Arizona allows Buckeye to exist in its present state. This video is being made for Caroline Clinton and for the HOA that sent me this letter. Okay, I'm sending it back. And the reason I'm sending it back is, and I'll drop it in the mailbox. I'm going to make a video of me dropping it in the mailbox. This letter came from Sundance Adult Village HOA, Sundance Parkway. Return to sender. Incomplete address. Non-specific. Okay. And here I am. Okay. I hope you can see me. I've had a running, another one. Okay, you see that? That's me, and that's your letter. Okay, together. It's going in the mailbox. I'm returning it. My point of view, my logic, my reason for returning it is this letter, I'm sure, has legal language in it of threats of putting liens against my house. I've already got a decision made against my house now that for the last 3 or 4 pay periods, every 3 months, I've had a fine that I've had to pay. Okay? If you're going to put legal language, now this is about the third language, this is about the third letter I've returned. I'm not going to accept them. This letter to me is going to have in it language threatening my security, threatening my house. It's going to probably be another notice of a fine. This is a standalone legal document. It's a notification of penalizing me. It's a notification of putting a lien against my house. Now, about 8 years ago, I got arrested for walking on track day, and the reason I was arrested is I missed the court date. After I got out of 4 days in jail, Joe Arpaio's jail at the 4th Avenue jail, and went in front of a judge in downtown Buckeye, the judge held up my summons. I admitted to him, I said, I didn't know about any court date, and if you can imagine, he had my summons like this. He held my summons up to me like this, and he goes, of course you didn't know about it. We never sent it to you. All right? You're in Buckeye. We don't have to tell you here that we have a court date for you. You missed the court date. We never told you, and we sent you to jail, and now you got a mugshot all over the internet. All right? This is the same logic right here. You're sending it to resident. If you're going to send me a legal letter threatening me with all kinds of fines and action against my house and liens against my house, then you do it with a registered letter and you address it specifically to me. All my dues payments, the bills for the dues, and everything that comes from AAM, when I pay my dues, and to tell you right now, for the last 3 things, I've had about a $200 fine each time. Now, because of that $200 fine, we don't have a regular relationship as member and HOA. We're having adversarial relationship. I've been paying fines to keep my credit rating good. The first thing you're going to do if I miss a fine is put paperwork against this house. So even though I don't know and you haven't sent me a picture yet of why you're fining me, this is why I'm returning this. This is the same as when I got arrested by this redneck cowboy town in Buckeye. All right? I walked on track day. I had a legal right to walk there. I had a plat map that said I had a legal right to walk there. And the neighbors who were gifted that had an entitlement, a privacy entitlement, were able to tell the police that I was peeking in their windows for 4 hours a day. They didn't arrest me for peeking in windows. They arrested me for missing a court date that I didn't know about. I'm a little upset and angry, okay? Now, this is going in the mailbox. I'll probably do a little spiel at the mailbox and see you want me to drop it in. But I've made a copy of it, and I'm going to fill a letter up with a lot of documents. The way you treated me at that meeting, at the meet and greet for the candidates, you treated me like I was wearing a fur hat, horned, war paint, and I was screaming out loud. I wasn't. I came there expecting to be treated equally. Your only purpose of that meeting was to keep me from pumping any truth into that room. All right? Thank you. Okay, Carolyn, here we are at the mailboxes. There's your letter right there. Okay? Resident, return to sender. That's what I'm doing right now. There's the box. Here I am. There's the letter. Here I am. It's going back in the box. There it goes. Goodbye. Goodbye letter from the HOA. There it is in the box. That's what's going to happen to every letter you send me regular mail from now on. Since I've got a fine on every... I'm in an adversarial relationship. You're finding me. You've got legal paper against me that gives you right to find me. Don't send me any more letter unless they're registered mail. I can't walk in to the HOA. I can't conduct business in the HOA. While I was in the HOA that night for the meet and greet, I was treated very unfairly. Okay? I am never going to agree with the HOA as to track day. Okay? Get it through your head. I'm not going to leave. I'm going to plan on being here a long time. I can't sell my house because no realtor will go near it. The house was built wrong. I tell everybody. That's why I'm in trouble with the HOA. And I tell everybody that this parcel 12, until track day is opened up to golf carts and emergency vehicles, is out of compliance with the plat map. Thank you very much. Okay? I'm going to put this online for the public and all the membership to see here in Sundance Active Adult in Buckeye, Arizona. Thank you.